You brought me this far, so why would I question you now?
Shh! Don't tell Cecil. We're at Cecil Fredi's stock room. Let's take a look. Oh my God. Let's look. He doesn't know I'm in here. Amazing. Want to see the price? Only $2,000. No big deal. Circassian, black walnut, English, Claro. $100, $400, $500, $1,000. Like nothing. We're shooting top secret video in Cecil Fredi's wood shop. Don't tell him.
And I've got a whole bunch of them out in these pallets here. Let's take. We have many days with triple-digit humidity, 100, or temperature, 100, 105, 110, and single 7, 8, 9. We've actually, that I've been here 2 or 3 days, triple-digit and zero humidity. Even the weatherman, he's astounded. You know, yeah. You wouldn't, you know, no. It was 105 and zero humidity. Anyway, sun comes up over here, and you see this no direct sun. The wood can't have any direct sun. This keeps the direct sun off, and then the breeze blows the moisture off. When I bring in a new stack, I put them in the back. Yeah, these are new here. Yeah, this is all in the back. 11 to 16. That was just last November. So they've got protection. So, you know, no direct breeze, but still enough to. You see that Mother Nature working with me 365 days out of the year. Now come here. I'll show you. I'll show you some gold. Show you some gold. Get to it. This is that orchard that I bought. When you do English, high grade English, look at that black marble. Look at that. When you cut a log for English, you cut for color, and boy, there is color. You look at all the ends of them. Look at that. Dark. So that's kind of the story there. Nature's kiln right here, working for me. Mother Nature works real hard, June, July, August. Triple-digit days, lots of single humidity.
Yeah? What do you pay her?
Well, sometimes she pays me back when I'm cold and freezing and hot.
That's right.
Tell us how you stack them. What's the method behind the madness?
Well, you stack them, and then you've got to have these stickers in. This is what lets the moisture out. Okay.
So they're not touching, not laying on each other. So the moisture has somewhere to go.
And that breeze blows that out. You got to have that. Yeah, that's called stickers. And when you get into crotchwood, you got to go one step further. Now, this blank 1212. So we are going on what, 7 years old? It's over 7 years old already, and still not dry. See, this is your feather. You have to wrap it in saran wrap.
So you dry it slower. You force it to take
explode.
longer.
It'll explode. It'll explode. So that's how you dry crotchwood. And that's the most valuable part of the tree.
And this is wax here on the ends?
Yeah. Once they're cut out of the log, immediately, I say immediately, one day, you got. And it's so critical that if you've got a hot, humid day, you can't leave those blanks out. They'll follow the grain.
So crack.
Yeah. So what we do is, you know, once they're cut, wax them immediately. And it's a low temperature, 130-degree wax.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Nature's kiln.
That's it. That's
Right
it.
here in the desert. Las Vegas, Nevada.
That's it.
What do we got here today, Cecil?
Well, this is my storage room. Everything in here is dried, had finish put on it, and a pattern.
Okay.
And it's all, you know, you can see it's all, there's English books for different prices and so on and so forth. And I feed, when my supply gets low in my showroom, then I feed it from this stuff here. A piece of California black, also known as Claro. So, there's many years here. There's some of this stuff in here is 92, 93.
Wow.
Wood is like women. Everybody wants a pretty one, and nobody wants an ugly one. And that's,
Well, you know, I was noticing this stock blank right here, Cecil.
yeah, I know about them.
Amazing piece.
Well, here's the story behind that. What I love to do is I love to get high school boys over here and show them this piece of wood. And I say, remember when you were in high school? Boy, and you got a date with a girl and she was as pretty as this piece of wood? Well, if you ever married her, here's what comes with that pretty girl. It happens to be, I guess, a mother-in-law. That's to sweeten the deal. You get the pretty wood, but the mother-in-law is to sweeten the deal. Guys love it. Women don't like it so well. I can't understand why.
Understood.
Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing
And
facility.
I've cut hundreds of them like that. I hate to admit that, but you know, you can't see what's inside.
This is
Them.
part of it, huh?
Yeah, just part of the wood cutting.
Excellent.
I've
Great
had a lot-
description.
I've had a lot of fun with that piece of wood. Yeah.
How about, let's go see what's next.
Sure, let's go. We got plenty to see. Yeah, we got plenty to see. Well, I only have to, this is my racks that I put finish on, okay? They're empty now, but in the winter I have to use these here to kick off the finish. Summertime you don't have to do that there. These are all 4Ns. You've got to have thousands of them. You can never have too many. I call them necessary evils. You've got to have them. You've got to have a lot of them, but just to match. And one of my favorite stories I told the other day was a guy come out and he bought a 2-piece blank and he spent about 2 hours picking out the buttstock. And then he said, I'm going to lunch. He come back and took him 3 hours to pick out the 4N. So, and you just do it with a smile.
That's all.
Yeah.
Patience.
Yeah, this is what I call my controlled mess. I kind of know where stuff is at. There's a nice piece of California Claro. Got burl in the butt.
Cecil, what's a stock blank off the rack here for something like this cost?
There it is. Everything I got, not everything. I have many files made up. This is a $750 file. 2 years ago, I had an order for 1,000 rifle blanks at $100. Well, I had to plane about 3,000 to get them. So I got a whole bunch of, lower grade blanks, and that's why I have this select few of higher grade blanks. So it worked out for me because, I was going to plane them anyway, and I just. But when you get into a blank like that, that's 100% figured. I always say my way of judging is, there's no place that you can put your thumb on either side. There ain't something going on.
Okay.
There's just no void. I guess that's a better way to explain it.
100% figured.
Yep. Yeah. There's just no void. You see, you got the black lines, you got the fiddle going that way, and that's what it takes. That's high grade stuff.
That's a nice piece of wood.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it should be when you pay that kind of money.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we all aspire to. Now, I noticed there's several pieces of information on these tags. They are numbered. They are dated. It tells you what kind of wood it is.
Yes.
The
And
price.
description.
and there's some little notes in here. Very unusual.
Yeah.
Dark crotch, feather. How
okay.
about some of those in the next one?
This is unusual. I mean, it's not fiddle. It's not. It's just, you know.
Looks like a leopard or a cheetah.
It's just a mumbo jumbo, you know.
It's pretty.
It's got light. It's dark. It's got figure. It's
It's beautiful.
You know, there's
only $800.
A lot of description. Yeah, a lot of description for woods, and a good layout down through the curve. I can think of mottled. Is that what they call it? When it's got splotches on it. So every piece of wood is kind of different. But dark crotch. What is a dark crotch? Well, you can see that wood's dark, and the best part of the tree is the crotch. And hang on to that there, Jamie. I'm going to go get you a crotch.
Absolutely. This one only happens to be $1,000 wood blank.
There we go. All right, here's a nice black walnut tree. This is the trunk coming out of the ground. This is the limb. This is called a crotch. And when you turn it over, what? It looks like a feather, a bird feather. That's how you get the name feather crotch. Nature's way of knitting a limb to a trunk or a limb to a limb.
Amazing.
Winchester was doing that 1860s. They graded them 1x to 4x, depending on how much feather was in the blank.
So when you say that one was covered everywhere you could put your thumb, they applied the same value to this crotch wood.
Yeah. When you get into crotchwood, it'll be crotch here, and then the ideal is fiddle up here.
Okay.
Quite often it'll be plain, and then a lot of people want that. They want the strength in the rifle up here, but the old crotchwood.
Excellent.
Now you go over there, you might find. I see that number 14, burl in the butt. Pull that one out.
Wow. A little bit of burl in the butt. So tell us about burl.
Well, a lot of people, they see the little clump of burl growing on the side of the tree, and they go, "Oh boy, we got something there." You might get a fountain pen out of that thing. Okay. Burls grow below ground, the big ones. Okay. Here's your ground level right here. As you can see, there's grain strength here growing towards the sun. This is a round ball below ground. There is no strength from here on down. But is it gorgeous?
It sure is.
And a lot of people, you know, they buy these all burl blanks, and there is no strength up in the head and the neck, and they're going to split and crack.
So for some of this beauty in this particular walnut, you're trading strength.
You have to lay it out
for beauty.
right. You have to lay it out right. You're correct. See this nice grain structure here? You know, you don't get it down here.
So the way that you lay this out then is you can allow yourself a little bit of room for this back here because it's a strong part.
Yes.
The stress of a gun stock, as we know it structurally, needs strength here in the pistol grip. This is where you want to lay out for your straight grain.
That's right.
And you can sacrifice some strength back here because it's not taking
That's
it.
right. I'll tell you a quick funny story. When I was 20 years ago, I was going up and down to California learning this trade, maybe more than 20 years. There was a guy had a huge burro. He sold burros huge, like this big around. And so I looked at it and I thought, you know, I could probably get 10 good gun stocks out of that, and I could probably get $200 a piece, and you know, that would be $2,000. I'm going to offer this guy $500, and we'll start there. About that time, this German guy come in, and he says, "I just purchased that." I said, "Really?" I said, "Well, if you don't mind me asking, what'd you pay for it?" He said, $37,500. Holy cow! And I guess he must have read me, you know, because I was white or about to faint. And he hit his calculator and he said, "When I get done with this, I'll have almost $90,000 worth of high-grade veneer."
Wow.
You know, so, but anyways, beautiful, but burl buyers beware.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Bunch of other descriptions here. Dense and dark, feather, special selection, checkerboard, fiddle crotch, very unusual.
Checkerboard is the rarest of all figure. It's caused by extreme weight. It also has another name of basket weave. See all these little squares?
Yes.
It's the rarest figure of all, and it's caused by an extremely lot of weight, which is a big old heavy tree. Checkerboard or basket weave.
Very beautiful.
Unusual. Yeah, it is. It is. You don't see a lot of them.
Deep tight feather. It's $1,100. Feather, burl in the butt. Special selection. Marble in the butt. Let's look at the other side. Oh wow. Here we go. What's this one? Checkerboard.
You've just seen a $1,500 piece of checkerboard. And why is it so expensive? From toe to forend is nothing but squares. Very rare. Very rare.
How about we do maple?
Okay.
Maple's interesting.
Three kinds of
Everybody
maple.
loves maple. Everybody loves maple.
Three figures in maple.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Most people call it fiddleback, curly, or tiger. Okay? And that's kind of your fiddleback, curly, or tiger. Fiddles, violins, they love that stuff.
Well, this one's labeled as dense fiddle. Mm-hmm. Is this a tighter pattern than some other ones?
Yeah, very tight in here. The other type of figured maple has three names also: shell, quilt, or flame. Turn that one over. I think that's a little better there. And it can be white. It can be orange. It can be orange and white.
This one was labeled orange shell.
Yeah. And it can be small shell, or you can find some different variations of shell here. Let's go over here. We're getting the high rent district over here on this shell.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, let's see here.
I'll get you $1,000 shell.
Yeah. That one there, that's a pretty nice piece. See, that's got the orange hue to it. Now I'm going to drag one out that's going to have a white. Look at that one. Then I'm going to show you an extremely rare piece of maple. Right here. Look at that thing.
Wow.
Is that something? Is that on fire or what?
Wow.
The bad news is the other side is not as good.
Seems pretty typical though, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's and you're talking, 2.5 inches from gorgeous to just kind of nice.
One of the other things that we talked about with this fiddle earlier was a rare four-way fiddle.
Yes, there it is. There's
Fiddle,
2,
top,
3,
and
4.
4.
That's what we call a four-way fiddler. Hard to find.
Beautiful.
When you see a log, let's go in here and I'll go in here for a second?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me show you. Here's how we're gonna teach you how to find a fiddleback log, and I'm gonna teach you how to find a quilt log. Okay?
Yes, sir. It's your world, Cecil. We're living in it.
No. All right. Now, take a maple log and you peel back the bark. And you see those lines, those deep lines there?
Yes.
Now you can get excited because there's your fiddleback.
Absolutely.
Okay? Now I'd like to go find some quilt logs, okay? Peel that bark back. It looks like an old turtle there, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
But look at here on the inside. Well, isn't that something?
Wow.
That's how you know if you got a good quilter. Quilt, flame, or shell, all the same. Isn't that something? Something so ugly can be so beautiful. Huh?
It is. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So that's how you know. And I've showed you that some of that figure goes in an inch and dies.
Yes.
You know.
It's why it's not the same on both sides.
That's right. And you know, I bought a lot of logs and paid a lot of money and put them on the mill. I paid for the logs. I paid for the trucking. I paid to have them cut, and then we put them over in the firewood pile.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, but you pay your money and take your chances.
Absolutely.
But that's how you find a good maple log, and the same with claro or black walnut. When you see that in the bark, and two things causes fiddleback. Very big old trees will usually have fiddleback at the base. That's the years and years of growing and the weight and the wind going like this.
Okay.
However, I have cut a maple and I think 2 walnut. It was a genetic. The whole thing was fiddleback. Even though the small limbs were like that were fiddleback. Well, that was in the genetics of the nut.
Okay.
But for the most part, you find you a big old maple tree or a big old walnut tree. The bottom part, from years and years of swaying in the wind, is what creates that.
Wow.
That, and then, like I say, the genetic one where the nut was planted, it was going to be a fiddleback.
Amazing.
It is. It's kind of neat. It's really kind of neat.
It's very.
And you know, it's kind of like hunting. You use all the knowledge you got, and you know, and spend your money, and hope for the best. And sometimes you win. Sometimes the best maple tree I ever cut was in '93, and they passed a law that you couldn't cut a tree within, I don't know, it was 30 feet or 30 yards of a creek. They thought that the salmon would come up there, spawn, and the trees would make the water warmer, and the salmon wouldn't spawn, which is not true, but that's another story. Anyway, I had to go in January in Oregon, which is always rainy and cold, and we cut it with an Alaskan, which is a chainsaw going sideways, and you're on your knees most of the time. And I think, best I remember, I got over 400 blanks out of that, and they were just all fiddle. I don't think I got one left, but I'm pretty sure I sold the last one.
Wow. How much money do you think you made off of that tree?
I had to pay $1,000 for it, and I sold most of those blanks between $200 and $400. So that tells you.
Wow.
Yeah.
You brought me this far, so why would I question you now? You have provided, so why would I start to doubt? I've never been stranded, abandoned, or left here to fight alone. So I'm giving you control.
All right, we're here today with Cecil Fredi. We're going to ask him, Cecil, how did you get started in all of this?
Well, I graduated high school in 1957, and in 1958 I went to gunsmith school. There's my shingle up there, 2,760 hours later, and by the way, it was 55 cents an hour. That just proves that I'm old. Anyway, I got my shingle, I come home and I had the ideal situation. Brand new sporting goods store, myself and another kid from school, we opened it up. We didn't have to pay any rent. You can't get any better than that. We had all the work that we could do, okay? But both of us, the thing we liked the best was fancy wood and stock making. Stock making is very time consuming, and after So 3 years, I give it up, okay? Let me preface by saying going to school was absolutely one of the best things I ever did in my life.
Okay.
And I give it up. Still continue to make guns in my garage, okay? But the love of hunting, I probably spent more hours out in the hills than I did in the gun shop. Okay?
Sure.
But I done things because I went to gunsmith school, because I could build a fancy gun that the average person couldn't do. I mean, as an example, I worked about 8 months building guns and 2 months up in Alaska doing flunky work, packing in moose. But meanwhile, in between clients, I'm shooting, grizzly bears, Alaska brown bears, wolves, and tally the cost of those hunts up.
Absolutely.
I've done the same thing in Montana. I actually got a guide license. I can only guide in the ball marshal, but in between clients, I was shooting elk and I was shooting bear, So the gunsmithing paid off. It all started with making a fancy gun for these people.
Absolutely, and that led into being fulfilled doing the things that you loved,
Oh,
because you
absolutely.
could trade your skill, your talent, for something worth much more.
People had the idea that if you could repair and fix a gun and make a fancy stock, that you could do other things. The first thing was when I was doing my working 8 months out of the year and hunting the other 4, the guy I knew in Alaska, I wanted a polar bear because at one time I wanted to shoot all 27 North American species. I think I got 25 of them. I don't know how many species there are now, they've added a bunch. But anyway, well, back in '66, a polar bear was $6,500.
In 1966.
Yeah, and that's not exactly conducive to a guy working part-time in his garage. But I had built this guy a gun or two, and he said, "Give me a client, come on up here, and we'll get you a polar bear," which we did. Here again, because I could fix a gun, work on my airplane. I knew nothing about airplane, and I worked on it for a month and put these gauges in, and we went hunting and shot a polar bear. The point I'm trying to bring out is he thought because I could fix a gun, I could do these instruments in his airplane. And the second one was a stroke of luck. It was 1967. A friend of mine was a slot manager at the Flamingo. Of course, he could count my drinks, and I frequented him quite often. So one night I'm out there, and he says, the exact words is, "When are you going to get a real job?" I was hunting and building guns, and I said, "I guess I'm going to have to. I got to put another room on the house for all these dead animals." He said, "Next time I get an opening for a slot mechanic, you want to give it a try?" And I had enough whiskey in me, I could do anything.
And because you're a gunsmith,
That's
you
right.
can fix
That's
a slot
right.
machine.
That's right.
Who
I'll
knew?
never forget. He called me the next day, and he said, "Come out here. You're the only mechanic I got." I did not open the door. But in those days, there was switches and coils, and you could figure it out. This lever doesn't work. We'll follow the wire and then clean the switch. Well, long story short, I wound up putting 25 years out on that strip, and I was vice president of slot operations at the Frontier, the Hilton, Aladdin, and the Dune.
Wow.
That afforded me a real good living, and I could go to Africa. However, I did build a gun in Africa, and on his dad owned 160,000 hectares, which is bigger than an acre, ranch. And I went over there, and just because of building guns, I paid for all the permits and fees, but building this gorgeous 458, come over and stay with me. And I shot lion, I shot leopard, geez, that's $150,000. All because I built a gun.
There's nothing wrong with
Oh,
that. You got to work your angles.
Trade. I could go on about my trades. So that was the best move I probably made in life, was going to gunsmith school, just learning the trade.
Absolutely. I tell everybody, you'll know 10 plumbers and 10 carpenters and 10 electricians,
Yeah.
and they'll only know one gunsmith.
That's right.
So if you can trade your services for all of theirs and have them owing you a favor, you could live the life of a rich man
And guess what?
and
You
do
can
what
always
you
trade
love.
up. You can always trade
That's
up.
right. You can do what you love, and they're all jealous because they're
Yeah.
plumbers, electricians,
Oh, yeah.
and carpenters,
Oh, yeah.
and you're a gunsmith.
That's right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and always trade up. Why I think, my God, am I dreaming? Am I getting a $20,000 hunt for a $2,000
Yeah,
gun?
don't tell them. Don't tell them. They don't need to know that side of it. But another thing that we teach at the school here is employability, and there is opportunity to make money,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You can find
Yes.
a way
Yes.
to stay in your lane,
Yes.
as you said,
Yeah.
and actually make
Yeah.
a real living at it.
I was good at finding a niche, and my niche was, fancy wood,
Yes.
and it just worked out for me, And a lot of maples and myrtles. I know walnut is the standard of the industry, and I know English walnut is the finest gunstock wood there is. But when you have some gorgeous maple hanging up there and you're spraying it, and some myrtle wood, and people say, "What's that?" You sold them.
Absolutely.
You sold them. So
Absolutely.
finding the niche.
Right.
It's not there for anybody, but it sure treated me right.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah, it is. It is.
All because you were a gunsmith.
Yeah, I went to that school and had some opportunities and took them.
That's right. That's a good point. Take your opportunities.
Well, it was there, and it still is.
Yeah.
It still is.
Sure. Yeah, you got an impressive shop here, and look what it became.
Well, how I got started in this was I finally, in the gaming industry, when somebody buys out the casino, you're out of a job. So I think it was in 89 or 90, Louisiana got gaming, and they'd heard about me, and I was pretty successful in that industry. And so they said, "We want to give you a 3-year contract." So I said, "Well, I'm going to go up and down California and spend a month or two cutting wood and learning the business, and then I'll put in 3 years." Well, long story short, the 3 groups that I consulted for in Louisiana didn't go to jail and went to prison. They just couldn't do anything right. Anyway, it was all over in 6 months, and when I come back, well, a little ready-made hobby here. I've had wood drying, and I'm still making guns and doing fine.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent. Amazing story.
yeah, it is. Life's been good to me. Another part of a good life is a good woman. Going on 50 years next year. She works with me. And I'm a little ashamed to tell you this, but I have an internet business and I don't know how to turn the computer on, so I got to be nice to my wife.
Behind every good man, there's a good woman. If
She's
we're
a
smart
dandy.
enough to realize that, then we'll be okay.
She's a dandy, yeah. When she was an airline hostess, I met her out there at the Flamingo, and so we got married. And where we're going to go on our honeymoon, I'm sure she probably had Europe in mind, but I went on and looked in the back of the hunting magazine, and there was a safari for $100 a day, and took all my money, and we went to Africa. That started it all.
Uh-huh.
And then when I got making a pretty good wage out there, I went nuts, and I beat the price on all that stuff.
Yes. That's smart too.
It's a rich man's sport today, but yeah. But a good woman will make or break, and I was fortunate enough to have a dandy.
Good for you.
Oh, man.
Congratulations on all your successes.
Yeah.
It's a real pleasure for someone like me to be sitting here with you because I was a gunsmith,
Mhm.
because I went to a gunsmith school and followed my passion and career.
Yeah.
I'm in here in your beautiful wood shop and talking about hunting and
Mhm.
instead of out there getting dirty. So, I don't mind that.
No. Well, getting dirty, I started out when, I got all the pictures to prove it. Buying logs, finding a mill, taking them to the mill, and learning, they're all dead now, but this is how you do this is how you cut a crotch, this is what you look for, this is the do's and this is the don'ts.
Building blocks
Yeah.
because you went to gunsmith school.
Yeah, right, that's right.
What a story.
Yeah, well, it
Amazing.
is, and that's one thing I do not regret,
Yes, sir.
going to that school.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
My pleasure. My
It's been a real
yeah.
pleasure, man.
Yeah, just tell those students that it's there if they want to take the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Not easy, and but boy, one of the best things I ever did.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You brought me this far, so why would I question you now?